Hey everybody, Seth Campbell here, and welcome back to Segway Plays Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. In the last episode, we did a bunch of little side quests around here on Windfall Island, as well as learned the basics of sailing without actually doing it. We played some mini-games, including those of this frustrated artist and very bored overall man, Salvatore. And in this episode, we're going to do a few more little side things around before we get going. First of all, if you didn't notice, or if you did, or either way, I guess, there are stairs up here. This whole ship decoration thing is really going overboard here. But there is a second floor exit, which brings us on to this little walkway here. And this guy. You know, this thing may look like a windmill, but it's actually a wind-powered Ferris wheel. It used to harness the wind's power to spin in quite a nifty manner. But we rarely get a favorable wind around here anymore, so it doesn't budge. I'm pretty sure it's not broken or anything, though. So if the wind blew in the right direction again, we just have to hit the power switch out back to get it moving. It looks like a westerly wind is blowing now. Okay, it's a wind-powered Ferris wheel for some reason. Okay. Well, I guess we gotta wait for the wind to be a little more favorable. Let's see, can we just, Yes, well, as you see over there, let's just, give ourselves a shortcut here. Now, if you climb up this little stairways here, there is an upper entrance to the rich guy's house. Hopefully he doesn't remember us. I'm trying to take more time to look at the pictures on the walls and stuff, because like I mentioned earlier, it's these little details that really just complete the atmosphere of this game so nicely. See, big fireplace, some plates, fantastic ocean view. I would not mind having a view like that out my window. I kind of do. I live in Boston, and you know, I'm not going to give too many details because I don't want people showing up at my house, but the Boston skyline itself is beautiful. Particularly when the sun hits it at interesting angles at different times of day. It's just very picturesque. Anyway, this guy probably still mad about the pots downstairs. I wonder if a boy like you will do. It's difficult to tell. Yes, difficult. You see, my one and only daughter Milla was taken away from me to a frightening place called the Forsaken Fortress. I have asked many to rescue her, but it seems to be a difficult voyage to that cursed place. Oh, to see my sweet Milla again, my precious little daughter. I worry so over her welfare, I can't recall the last time I slept more than a wink. I sincerely wonder about the wisdom of asking a boy like you to do this. But would you lend a hand to help rescue my precious daughter? Sure. Go in there anyway. We're a brave boy to take on this task. I assure you, if you do rescue her, I will pay you as much money as it takes. I'd give my entire fortune for her safety. Alright, well, we're seeing a different side of this fellow now, that's for sure. So, we have now promised both fathers, the rich one and the poor one, that we will bring their daughters back. Between those two and our sister, we really need to find a way back to the Forsaken Fortress. And hopefully do a better job this time. Let's see, there's one other little area we can climb up here and walk on the top of the gate. Yep, to sailors like us, the wind's our whole life. It'd sure be nice if a fair wind blew today. Boring! Okay, let's see, there are a couple other things I want to do. One is this interesting-looking gentleman dancing by the gravestone. Now, as a kid, I and the friend I first borrowed this game from called this guy Elvis, for really obvious reasons. And the amazing thing to me is I've watched other people Let's Play this game as well, and I've talked to other people who play this game, and it seems that just about everybody had the same exact joke. So yeah, this is Elvis. Ooh, no, that's not it. It's just not it. And the problem is, even though that's not it, this isn't it either. Worst Elvis impersonation ever. Oh dear, pardon me, guy. I was so fully and wholly absorbed in my dancing that I didn't even notice little old you standing there. I am Tot. I love dancing more than I love 3 meals a day. You will come to know me as the world's charismatic dancer extraordinaire. Ready, guy? 1, 2, 1, 2. Say, guy, you know what I was just reminded of? Long ago, I met this delightful little guy who performed the most dazzling magic dance. Dance, magic dance. Obscure classic rock reference there. Dance that turned night into day before my very eyes. I can remember those fabulous dance moves, but I just can't seem to get that intricate rhythm down. Do you think you know the rhythm, guy? No, Elvis, I don't. So here are the pigs. I thought you could do like a little mini game of catching the pigs. Forgive me, folks, for what I am about to do. Huh? Yep. Veteran players of Legend of Zelda know exactly who this is. And let me save you some time if you don't know. We don't like him.
I see. The same green clothes and the same green hat. By the look of you, I'd say... Sir, could you by chance be a fairy? Wow! Goodness, did you feel my telepathy? That's why you saved me, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Do not worry, Tingle knows without you telling him, sir. Yes, sir. Tingle is my name. I have been looking for you and your kind, for I too long to be one of the fairy folk. And yet I was mistaken for some sort of troublemaker and put in this dreadful sort of place. How disrespectful! Please, Mr. Fairy, rescue poor Tingle from this place and take him where you and your kind live in splendor.
Yes. This is Tingle. I really don't know what to say about Tingle. He scares me. There have been incarnations of Tingle in various Legend of Zelda games, and he even got his own spin-off game in Japan, Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land. There might have even been 2, I can't remember. And much like in the Forsaken Fortress, I question the design of Windfall Island's prisons. You just press the switch, the door opens.
Yay! Hooray! Thank you all so very much. Here is Tingle's heartfelt gift of thanks. Tingle, Tingle, Kooloo-Limpah. Become an item.
He gave you the Tingle Tuner. If you get stuck or need a quick hint, connect a Game Boy Advance to your Nintendo GameCube to talk to Tingle. Yes, this is an interesting thing. It's only in this version, obviously. They couldn't put it into the remake. I don't know whether or not I'll be covering what this involves. If anything, it'd be basically at the end of the Let's Play. I have one of the cables to connect to Game Boy Advance, And somewhere, we have a Game Boy Advance. Either my brother has it or I do. We each had one, and then our old dog Herbie ate one of them, and I'm not kidding. He chewed off most of the buttons. But I don't at present have a way to record off the screen of a Game Boy Advance, and everything that happens on the Tingle Tuner happens on the Game Boy Advance screen. So I can't promise that I'm going to cover this. I'm going to try. I want to. But we'll have to see. After connecting the Game Boy Advance, the controller socket 2, 3, or 4, set the Tingle Tuner to a Y, Z, or X.
Now, no matter how far we travel from this dingy cell, our souls will be as one.
That is a terrifying thought.
Splendid! Tingle is going to get ready to go to the realm of the fairies, so you just wait here, okay, sir?
I don't think so.
Ah! I was forgetting something important. Oh, Mr. Fairy, you want to come to my island, don't you? Don't you? Don't you?
You got Tingle's chart. What kind of chart could it be? Head out to sea and then press Control Stick up and check your charts to find out. Control Pad, excuse me.
When you go out to sea, open it. If you ever need any help with your charts, just leave it to Tingle. Don't ever forget it. You ever need help with charts, don't forget it.
Something else about Tingle, a year or two after I played this game for the first time, would be the time when I would call, I would do the automated refill for prescriptions at CVS and such, for my medicine whenever I needed it. And the refill, when they're processing the information, the sound you hear on the phone always made me think of those weird suction cup Tingle footsteps. Which are, I can't really replicate it, but if you've ever done an automated prescription refill or one of those automated phone directories that do that, you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Tingle's gone, which is good because I don't like him. Let's see, we can get 1 rupee. That's worth it. This dingy little cell seems to have fungus and spider webs and someone really ought to be fungus in the bed. That's disgusting. Someone really ought to there's a certain amount of anti-cruelty to be addressed here. However, there's this box just kind of stuck here. And if we push it out of the way, there's a crawl space, which is very interesting. Now, as I've already said, I am somewhat claustrophobic, so just imagining doing this, particularly in the back of an old, rotting prison building, scares the bejesus out of me. Now, there are some rupees here, but you also kind of have to be careful, and you can kind of give yourself enough warning, because there are traps. You see how the floor is just a little tiny bit different in the left direction there? That is a trap. And that will essentially boot you out of the building. And I'm going to talk, if you're wondering about that, I'm going to talk more about it in a moment, because luckily I found the way through. I didn't actually remember for sure. Now, there are a lot of skulls back here, which, beyond the fact that Link is breaking open the skeletal remains of dead former prisoners for whatever may be lodged inside them, it's kind of a disturbing thought that so many prisoners have managed to essentially, I guess, dig their way back here and died. And did the town not notice this? There's a couple of stones that seem to have writing on them here. Date, Unknown. At last, I have succeeded in stealing the Pictou Box I have desired for so long. Succeeded, yes, but sadly, due to a slight mistake on my part, I was also caught. I have been imprisoned, but I do not give in easily. I refuse to give this wondrous box to my captors. I've decided to hide it here in the depths of my cell and then make my escape by tunneling out. Yes, that is my plan. Of course, if I ever successfully escape from this prison, I shall one day return to recover the Pictou Box. I will write the controls for it in case I should forget them. Set it to Y, Z, or X on the item screen. Press A to snap shots. Use the C stick to zoom in and out. Press R to switch to its delightful pictograph viewing mode. It saves up to 3 pictographs at one time. Oh, how it pains me to leave it. I just wish I could get out of here so I could start taking pictographs. Well, no prizes for guessing this. We got the Pictou Box, which is odd because it's in a chest that usually involves maps or navigation with that type. But anyway, so I didn't use it with X or with Y, Z, or X. It can hold up to 3 pictographs. Press R to view your pictographs. This is one change they made in the HD remake that I really prefer about the HD remake. Because in that one, you can save up to 12 pictographs. And as you'll see in time, that will save a lot of time and a lot of hassle and a lot of frustration. Now, these traps, I want to address these. Okay. There are rats with little bells on pull strings that will drop you out of the maze. Now, at first this seems like, okay, bad thing. But remember, these tunnels are out the back of a prison cell. Did Windfall not notice if all of their inmates were escaping? And if that was happening, how did all of the people who managed to get back to that little chamber die there and not break out of jail? And how are the rats involved in this anyway? Probably doesn't bear thinking about. Now, this is something that's kind of debated, I guess. I just, in my head, have always kind of assumed that the person who wrote on those stones and originally stole the Pictou Box, I always thought it was Tingle. But there's no real confirmation of this, I guess. I mean, Lenzo talked about it a bit, that he, ran into a young man, and I figure, someone dressed like Tingle might look, I guess, innocent, if you want to call it that. But, so I always thought that, and it was only later I realized that, other people were probably held in this prison cell at some point. But anyway, we now have a Pictou Box, so perhaps Lenzo will not distrust us now. Why, young sir, I must say you seem to be in possession of a very fine Pictou Box there. Are you a lover of pictographs as well? There can be no villains amongst the ranks of Pictou Box lovers. Take your time, look around, I implore you. Well, that worked. Even though this is probably almost definitely the Pictou Box that was stolen from him. So up here is his gallery. Aren't these some finely snapped pictographs? You must admit it. But come now, you needn't be so surprised, my young sir. It is a hobby of mine to sneak up behind people when they least expect it. It is quite an amusing diversion. Think nothing of it. I'm very easily startled, so if someone did that to me, it would take years off my life. By the way, the pictographs you see decorating these fine walls have all been taken by none other than myself. They are my pride and joy. You see, in my younger days, I was tireless, sailing far and wide across the great sea, snapping pictographs wherever I went. Have a look at them, young sir. Yes, let's do that. What is this a pictograph of, you ask? Well, those are creatures called choo-choos. They are said to have medicinal properties, so they are a most important resource treasured by sailors the world over. Why, there is even said to be an extremely rare species of them known as the blue choo-choo. It is only under very unusual circumstances that they are ever sighted. You would be most lucky to ever come across one, young sir. Quite. This is a pretty nice pictograph. This one is of a tiny rock islet resting far out in the seas southeast of here. Isn't it nice? There was a very dignified butler standing before the door, and I snapped his photo without even thinking. That aside, I am certain this is someone's private cabana. This is an incredible pictograph. I don't know if he's saying that or not. I saw this strange platform rising up out of the seas, seeming to claw at the sky. It makes for an even stranger silhouette. I wonder if such things still remain out there on the high seas, lonely on the waves. Ah, if I only had the chance, I would love to see these things once again. This is a pictograph of a place I once visited. Isn't it a finely snapped shot? I took it in my younger days. It is Outset Island. It is the most delightful of fishing villages, innocent and rich with nature's bounty. It was there that I met a beautiful young lass. Although I suppose she is probably not as young as she used to be these days. Please don't let that be our grandmother. Please don't let that be our grandmother. Please don't let that be our grandmother. What kind of pictograph is this, you ask? One ill-fated day, misfortune befell me, and my boat was destroyed. Clinging to the wreckage, I drifted at the whims of the waves. That's when I saw this monstrosity. This foul ship veiled in mist and fading in and out of sight like something in another world. Yes, my young sir, 'tis none other than the ghost ship. The rumors I've heard tell of a man who researched the reaches of the sea where the ghost ship faded in and out of sight, and that he drew a map of its movements. But it is said that as soon as the man had finished drawing the lines of that cursed map, he died a most unexpected death. Chilling, truly chilling. Now, if one were able to find that map, then it might be possible to sneak onto the ghost ship and get the treasure that is said to lurk within its hull. Seems risky. Not a bad pictograph, Is that not a rather mysterious statue? That statue's home is on one of the Triangle Islands. It lies due south of here. There are a total of 3 Triangle Islands, the Northern, the Southern, and the Eastern Triangle Islands. Each of them has a statue such as this, standing on its shores. And last one. This pictograph chills me to the bone. The Forsaken Fortress. This place lies to the northwest of our fair isle, but it has been enveloped in filthy dark clouds of late. What are we to do against the silent evil that lingers there? If you value your life, young sir, then at the very least you should stay as far away from that place as you possibly can. It feels as if evil that is not of this world lies in wait there, biding its time. Yeah, we know something about that. Well, that was fascinating and all. As this man follows us back down the stairs. You see, young sir, I have been studying Pictou Boxes since I was but a lad. My lifelong dream of creating a box with incredible pictography capabilities is at long last nearing fruition. Young sir, I hesitate to ask, but could you perchance become my research assistant? Yes, I do want to do this. Oh, really? Really and truly? My heart leaps at your enthusiasm, but I feel I must tell you, the path an assistant must follow is not a simple one. I demand that whoever? I guess it should be whomever. I demand that whosoever, I'm sorry, I have bad eyesight. I demand that whosoever takes on the role of my assistant be an individual who can take whatever command I may issue and promptly complete it without hesitation. It will be quite a challenge, I assure you. Are you still sure you want to do this? Absolutely. Ha! You must share my love of the pictographs. What is your name, young sir? Link, is it? Very well, then. I shall issue 3 commands for you. On the dawn of the day you complete all 3 tasks, you shall be my number 1 assistant, Link. Now then, for my first command. A love letter. Do you know what that is, young sir? It is a collection of words of love, long unspoken and put into written form. Somewhere in this town there is one who, despite constant rejection, never learns the cold lesson of unrequited passion and continues to write letters of doomed love. I am certain the object of this sadly one-sided affection is in quite a quandary over the matter. I am of a mind that I must have a word with the unwanted suitor. However, I must have physical evidence, and thus your first task is to snap a pictograph of this individual in the act of sending the unwanted letters. That sounds easy, does it not? Rightly so. If you hope to be my assistant, you must perform this task with ease. So, essentially, we're going to be getting, basically, I think, blackmail photos for this guy. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. Now, since it's in the act of sending a letter, it would make sense to stake out the mailbox. Probably not behind the tree, So, yep, this is our Pictou Box. And I am just going to, I'm going to jump ahead to whenever the person we're looking for shows up. So you don't have to wait here as long as I do. This guy is onto us. Okay, so it's possible, oh, no, not you. Yes, this guy will talk to you every time. So it's possible to be noticed, by people and not be able to take a picture. But here comes a fellow. Gotcha. Now hopefully that picture is good enough for Lenzo. It can be dicey whether or not you get the pictograph right. Fortunately, this guy is such an annoying stalker lunatic that he will just walk around the island, and the next time he comes by the mailbox, he will leave me alone! Yeah. I know that guy won't leave me alone. I wish this guy would. He won't leave me alone either. That guy will just walk around the island and then send another letter. Look, buddy, I've been in love from a distance with someone who didn't share my affection before, too. I've written an album worth of songs about it, buddy, but you got to move on. Sometimes you just got to accept it. It's not meant to happen. Let it go. Alright, I am going to give this pictograph to Lenzo, and then I'm actually going to stop this episode here because it's run a lot longer than I expected. But I really do want to finish this now, and I'll explain why in a future episode. But, so we haven't set sail yet, but, let's see. So yes, if you press the button you set the Pictou Box to while standing in front of him, you can show the pictograph. That's not quite right. I'm terribly sorry, but there is no way I could possibly give this a passing grade. I'm afraid you must retake the shot. When you snap a pictograph, you must be sure not to snap it too close up, and yet at the same time it should not be too zoomed out. All of which means you must begin your study of this pictography basics anew. Darn it! Like I said, it can be finicky. So, I'll tell you what. I am going to end this episode here, and at the beginning of the next episode, hopefully we will have just taken a better pictograph, and Lenzo will be happy. I want to finish this quest, and then there's one more thing I can think of that I want to do while we're still here. He's on to me. There's one other thing I can think of that we still want to do here on Windfall Island, and then I promise we will get going, hopefully in the next episode. I can't guarantee it. No! No, no, no! I understand, but... Okay. Yeah. Well, back on the stakeout. See you in the next episode.